evening, everyone. I would like to start this by thanking all the chefs and the staff for this evening. Let's give them a big round of applause. People like yourself had made my company successful. Thank you very much. What an honor it is for me to speak at this dinner tonight. CAMSC is an organization and dinner that celebrates corporate leaders in supplier diversity and that showcases successful Aboriginal and minority suppliers, while utilizing more vendors from diverse backgrounds will enhance supply chain diversification, as well helps to sustain and transform a company's supply chain and the bottom line. I think recognizing and celebrating companies that are leaders in diversity is critically important to thank them for everything that they do, and more importantly, to inspire others to follow. As many people have said, we become what we celebrate. What we recognize, what we hold up as an example and strive to emulate. So congratulations to all the finalists here in the room. Let's give them a big round of applause. So tonight, let's celebrate the leaders in diversity and inclusion in our community. And more importantly, let's spread the word that supporting diversity and Aboriginal and minority people and their companies is good for business. And it's simply the right thing to do. Because yes, we become what we celebrate. Canada is a beacon of hope, inclusivity, and equality in the world. Canadian people of different colors, backgrounds, sexes, and religions, longtime citizens or newly arrived, all the same, all working to make our lives and the lives of our families better. However, we have to admit that the world in these times of transition and these values of inclusivity and equality are under pressure. And you, as supporters of CAMSC, we have a critical role in helping to further develop and grow our diversity and diverse suppliers. We need to ensure everyone gets the best start in life and in business ventures. While I came to Canada, like many others, for a better future for my family, my challenges were also very typical. I spoke different language, didn't know the customs, I looked different, and to compound it all together, I'm Muslim from the Middle East, and my name is Mohamad. Things were stacked up against me pretty much. When I first moved to Canada, I lived in a basement apartment, and I shared it with two other guys. I didn't speak English, and to pay rent, I had to teach French to the landlord's daughter. That was the only cash flow I had at the time. I was well educated in Lebanon, and I finished my gemology degree. I'm a gemologist that sells shawarma, basically. In Italy, Canadian initially did not respect and accept my education. But today, I'm the CEO and founder of Paramount Fine Foods with an honorary doctorate degree from Ryerson. Have you ever heard of someone getting a doctorate degree for selling shawarma? Well, I did, I guess. I have been asked to speak about my journey as a successful, hopefully I'm called successful, diverse business owner, why I came to Canada and my challenges, my personal and Paramount building story, and the key success of other minority to follow. So what was the secret to my adapting and succeeding in Canada? We've all heard it. If it is to be, it's up to me. If you want something to happen, just do it yourself. The most important success factor, frankly, for anyone is just to want to succeed and to be willing to put in the effort, the hard work, having the grit that it takes to be successful. What do we call that trait? Some call it grit, resilience, or stick-to-itness. I call it personal leadership. Where does it come from? I've been asked this question many times, and I'd like to give you what people say, secret of my success, as if I know what is the secret of success. But my tree metaphor First, you need a strong roots in your own community that provides you with a base and often the resources to grow. So don't forget where you came from. Second, you need confidence and strength and a strong trunk that help you stand tall and prosper in the crowded market. That trunk is your family, your close friend here in Canada. But most importantly, third, you need to branch out. You need to reach out to different people, different cultures, different geographies, because this is how you flourish, flower, and replenish yourself. And I should add, the tree should be like the Canadian or Lebanese evergreen that prospers no matter how cold and harsh the environment. So personal leadership has to come first from you, but doesn't come from just you. It comes from your support structure, your friends and community, and your personal ethics, morals, and beliefs. So never think that you can ever succeed alone. You need a community to support you. You need a team. You need great people. And you need definitely your ethics and beliefs. Now, if I could, let me tell you a little bit about my crazy story, because I think it carries a lot of lessons that will resonate with a lot of you. I spent my childhood in Lebanon, and at the age of 16, I had to escape my country because of the civil war, and I moved to Italy to study gemology and an apprenticeship program with a man named Ernesto Franquin. Ernesto was the most dedicated, hardworking, almost a crazy mentor one could imagine. Together we put in long hours, had many great arguments. I learned the ins and outs of the jewelry business, but as well life. Practically, he never shied away from making fun of me and pushing me when I did not make a sale. Yet he always told me that it's very important not to try to make a sale, but build a relationship. So his way was, please, act properly, build a relationship, but as soon as I fail on closing a sale, he used to make fun of me. He used to walk around the store and his pocket out empty. And I used to say, Mr. Franquin, can you fix your pocket? He'll say, well, I can't. There's nothing in it because you couldn't close the deal. So, perhaps most importantly, he ingrained in me that success in business was about building long-term relationship, not trying to sell people or make sure they pay for something they don't need or they don't want to use. In 1999, as you said, I immigrated to Canada, ready to tackle the world, excited. Despite having little money in my pocket and didn't speak English, I wasn't able to get a job in my field. To survive and improve my English skills and to get to know Canada and Canadian, I worked in a coffee shop. Yet, while I was trying to get to know Canadian, I always wondered, why they always talk about the weather? Seriously, I still ask myself. I start doing it myself even. I actually get in the elevator and I talk to people about the weather, but I still don't know why we do that. So I kept going. Well, after working at the coffee shop night shift, I kept going back to this jewelry store in the Eaton Center that already turned me down 5, 6 times, wouldn't hire me, right? Wouldn't give me a paying job. And then I offered that I work for free for him. And to feel better, I called it volunteering. And he actually accepted that. So I worked for free for this man for over 8 months. But that risk has paid off. 6 months later, a competing jewelry store could see my worth, offered me a good paying job. One day at the new jewelry store, I had a customer who's coming and wanted to try a Rolex, very expensive one, and deciding between the 2 Rolexes. And at the time, I had very little time to travel. And the commission from that watch would have bought me the first car. Wouldn't have bought me the first car. Would have gave me a deposit on my first car, right? And Ernesto has trained me very well. When you find a customer, 1, you build a relation. 2, never let her leave before you make a sale. So that was easy. So the problem was not the price of the watch. The problem was the size of her wrist. And do you know how difficult to tell a woman that the size of her wrist is big? Are you guys laughing? I don't think it's funny, trust me. I wouldn't suggest any of you to try it. So the watch was very small. The wrist was big. Hopefully she's not here, right? So I recommended the right one. And that was the right watch that wasn't the most expensive. A few months later, this customer came back saying that she owned 2 jewelry stores. And she wanted to hire me because of my customer service and my honesty. So you want to hear about something that you thought was going bad for you, that turns your life and changed it? That was the story in my life. That lady offered me a partnership in her jewelry store, and that was the first time I owned something ever in my life. Together, we built the company to 5 locations. A little after, a friend was building a house as an investment, and he ran out of money, so asked me to help him. And of course, I'm going to say yes, because we're open for business. I'm ready to jump in any opportunity. A series of high-end homes after, in Mississauga, along some great press about the company and the houses we built. And that brings me to the crazy story of buying the most expensive pastry in my life. One day, my wife asked me to go buy a kilo baklava. So I was complaining because it was far from home. I started driving in this place out of nowhere called Paramount. As soon as I walked in, the place didn't look at all what the name stands for. I started the conversation with the owner, and turned out he recognized me from one of the newspaper articles about this crazy Lebanese guy that built multi-million-dollar homes. He had a simple request. He said, "Can you lend me $250,000? And I'm like, okay, I'm just here for baklava. I don't. He went on and explained that his business was on the verge of collapse, and his 35 immigrant employees could not only lose their jobs, but also potentially have to leave the country. It was a compelling situation, but $250,000 for a kilo baklava, I think I'll lose my wife on the way back. I mean, on the ride home, I kept thinking, I was an immigrant myself. A lot of my friends are immigrants. Wasn't there something I could do to help these people? So I called him back that night. You know, one of those things that people offer you to be part of a great event, a great cause, and you wish that they didn't offer it to you, but you can't just say no and you just jump in and do it? Well, that's what happened. I was hoping that he loses my card. He didn't need it, because I ended up calling him, and I told him I was all in, right? Unfortunately, despite my help, I hope no one works for CRA here, CRA froze his account. So the owner of the place decided to go back home, and despite that, I decided not to close the business. Because of the employee, because of the chefs, and because of those 35 families, I decided to jump in a business I didn't know. I talked to the staff, and I said, what if we turned Paramount into a restaurant serving a quality, authentic Middle Eastern food? We all knew we could fail, but by helping taking a sense of ownership in the new direction, every individual team member was invested in making Paramount a success. And most importantly, we were all hungry. If you want to succeed at anything, you have to act like you're hungry. You're hungry for that success. That was in 2006. By the end of this year, our beautiful brand will have over 80 locations in 7 countries and employ over 2,000 employees, including Syrian refugees. Over the years, Paramount has made giving back to the community as a part of our DNA. I believe CAMSC plays a critical role in getting minority suppliers the best start possible in Canada by connecting corporate businesses with diverse suppliers. But to be successful, I, you, and if not everyone, we need resilience, personal leadership. I think even my tree metaphor can help building that. Remember, you need deep and wide roots, strong and tall trunk, but then please branch out and flourish. Second, we all need examples of others that have gone before us and have broken the barriers and been successful. I have been giving a lot of thought to diversity lately because I worry it is under attack. Our neighbors in the South are focused on building walls, not bridges, keeping people out rather than inviting them in. What's going wrong in our society? What can we do about it? I just don't understand it. Do you? I think a lot of the problem is that good people aren't often standing up for what's right, what's ethical, and what's good. The Brookings Institution in the United States published a long article saying a global trade war could cause an end to the recovery and even to a global recession. In a recent financing discussion, major smart Canadian banks said that the biggest risk to Canada was the Trump trade moves. We have all dealt with bullies in our life, at a personal level and even professionally. The only way to stand up to a bully is to simply stand up. As our Prime Minister has proven, you cannot be his friend and hope to placate him. The only thing a bully understands and respects is courage, forthrightness, commitment, and standing up straight and tall. We cannot allow the voice of hatred, racism, nationalism, xenophobia, and the politics of division to dominate. Well, we need to end that. So please do me a favor. You should have waited. I'm going to make you stand up. So please do me a favor. I would like you to stand up right now. All of you. Yes, please, everyone. Stand up straight and tall. Let this signify our determination to stand up for Canada, to stand up for our government in this trade war, and to stand up for diversity. Thank you. Well, I hope President Trump will see this letter, and please. Thank you. I'm not done yet. I hope nobody's going to hold the paper on the other side. I hope President Trump sees this determination from all of us to stand up for our country. Let's stand up and make a difference. Let's stand up for diversity. Let's support our minority suppliers. Let's strengthen our domestic economy. Remember, I always say, diversity is a fact, but inclusion is a choice. So come to Paramount and enjoy. I had to put some advertising in it. So come to Paramount and enjoy the best Middle Eastern experience you will find. Employ, partner, and befriend someone of a different color, religion, and establish a connection with people from other countries, from around the world. Let's continue to be an example to the rest of the world. Canada and you will be stronger for it. Let's together make diversity our strength, a reality, not just a nice slogan. Let's all celebrate who we are, what we do, what we stand for, and let's remember always that we only become what we celebrate. Thank you.